All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into Nitori Holdings.
A fascinating company, really.
Yeah, you requested this one, right? Wanted an inside scoop?
Absolutely, they just hit a huge milestone, 1,000 stores globally.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible.
And they've got this ambitious vision, to reach 3,000
It's
stores
3,000.
by 2032, plus 3 trillion yen in sales.
Okay, so big growth plans.
Huge. But they also talk about offering affordable prices with high quality.
Yeah. Is that even possible? How do they balance those things?
Well, that's where their business model comes in. It's what they call manufacturing logistics IT retail.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's vertically integrated, meaning they control the entire process.
From like start to finish.
Pretty much design, production, all the way to the customer experience.
So they're not just selling furniture, they're orchestrating everything.
Exactly. It gives them incredible control over costs and quality.
I can see that, but also imagine the logistics of that.
Oh, it's mind-boggling. A global network of this size.
And we're not just talking about those giant Nitori furniture stores.
Right. Those are definitely the core. But there are different formats.
Like what?
Well, you have those sprawling mega stores, but also smaller specialized locations.
Okay, so a variety.
Yeah. And Nitori Holdings is more than just furniture, too.
Oh, interesting. What else do they have going on?
Well, they've got a bunch of different business segments like Deco Home.
Deco Home.
Yeah, it's targeted towards women with a focus on home decor.
So more of the stylish stuff.
Yeah, but budget-friendly, too. And then there's Shimachu, their home improvement arm. DIY supplies, gardening, that kind of thing.
So they really are becoming a one-stop shop for anything home-related.
Right. And then, get this, they even have an apparel brand.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's called N+.
Wow. So that 3,000 store target is starting to make more sense.
Yeah, they're really covering all the bases.
But with all this expansion, are they making money? Let's look at the financials.
Okay, so their 2024 report, it tells an interesting story.
Lay on me.
Revenue growth was steady. They reached 895.7 billion yen.
Not bad at all.
Right, getting closer to that trillion yen goal. But their operating income actually decreased.
Decreased? How's that possible with all that revenue growth?
Well, they attribute it to global financial tightening.
Oh, right. That's been rough on everyone.
Yeah, rising interest rates, economic uncertainty. It's a tough environment.
Okay, so what are the actual numbers?
Gross profit was 455.9 billion yen, but that operating income, it landed at 127.7 billion.
So margins are getting squeezed a bit?
Definitely, it's something to keep an eye on.
What about their balance sheet and cash flows?
They're making big investments, particularly in distribution centers.
To support the growth.
Exactly, so they're prioritizing long-term infrastructure.
Which makes sense.
But it could impact short-term cash flow.
Yeah, building a global empire doesn't come cheap.
Nope, it doesn't. And free cash flow, well, the report doesn't give us precise figures,
Okay,
but those investments, they're likely putting pressure on it in the short term.
I see. So how are they keeping their investors happy?
Well, they're focused on two things, dividends and share buybacks.
Okay, classic ways to create shareholder value.
Right, and they have a solid track record with dividends. Last fiscal year, they paid out 147 yen per share.
So they're sharing the profits.
Yeah, and the share buybacks, those can boost earnings per share.
Right, and signal confidence in the future.
Exactly.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Absolutely. And speaking of putting their money somewhere, let's talk about sustainability.
Okay, they do talk a lot about that.
It's not just talk. They've got this ambitious plan, Nitori Group Green Vision 2050.
That sounds pretty far-reaching.
It is. They're aiming for carbon neutrality and 100% recycling of collected products.
Wow, are they actually taking steps towards that?
Yeah, for example, they've incorporated solar power into some of their stores.
Oh, cool.
They're also working with suppliers to promote sustainable practices.
So creating a ripple effect.
Yeah, and they even have a timber procurement policy for responsible sourcing.
Okay, so they really are trying to walk the walk.
Absolutely. They even have 21 years of consecutive base pay increases for employees.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right. It shows they're committed to their workforce.
And not just profits.
Exactly.
But let's zoom out for a moment and talk about their global expansion. What are their key strategies there?
Well, they're focused on prime locations for brand recognition.
So being where the action is.
Yeah, and they're emphasizing they're offering the unexpected value proposition.
The affordable luxury thing.
Right. But are they just exporting a Japanese model or adapting to local tastes?
That's a good question.
Well, they're actually training national staff to lead overseas expansion.
Oh, wow. So they're investing in local expertise.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Shows they're thinking long term.
So what kind of training are these national staff members getting?
Specialized programs focused on cultural sensitivity and local market knowledge.
Okay, so bridging the gap between Notori's values and the local market.
Exactly, creating a truly global team.
That sounds promising. But global expansion is never easy, right? What are some of the challenges?
Well, competition is fierce, especially in retail.
Yeah.
They're going up against local players, sometimes even global giants.
Hey.
And then there are different regulatory environments to navigate.
Oh, yeah, that could be a nightmare.
It can be. Plus, building brand recognition in new territories takes time.
So they have a lot on their plate.
They do, but they seem to be approaching it strategically.
All right, so we've covered their operations, financials, their people, global
A
ambitions.
lot of ground covered.
Yeah, so let's wrap up this part by talking about Nitori's future. What are the key takeaways?
I'd say the first takeaway is Nitori is a company on the move.
They're definitely not standing still,
Nope, they're not afraid to take risks, challenge the status quo.
which is refreshing.
Right. But what makes them different? Why are they succeeding?
That's the question.
I think their commitment to innovation is a big part of it.
Okay, and what else?
Their manufacturing logistics IT retail model is pretty unique.
Definitely haven't seen that before.
And they're building a reputation for affordability, quality, and sustainability.
It's an impressive combination for sure.
Yeah, it really is. But of course, there are challenges ahead.
Like what?
Well, the global economy is uncertain, competition is tough, managing a global workforce and supply chain, it's complex.
So they've got their work cut out for them.
They do, but they seem to have the right ingredients for success.
Like what?
A strong vision, unique business model, a committed workforce, a deep understanding of their customers.
Sounds like a recipe for success.
It does, doesn't it? But here's a final thought as we move to the next part.
Okay, I'm listening.
Can Nitori maintain this growth while staying true to their values?
It's a good question.
Can they balance their ambition with their commitment to social and environmental responsibility?
That's the billion yen question.
It really is. Only time will tell. But this deep dive, it's definitely given us a lot to think about.
It really has.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance for sure.
It is. But before we move on, there's something else about their growth I wanted to touch on.
Oh, what's that?
Their Asian roots. It seems like they're primarily expanding into other Asian markets.
You're right, and I think that's a key part of their strategy.
How so?
Well, there's a shared cultural context there, a
Mhm.
deeper understanding of their brand.
So they might have an advantage over Western competitors.
Exactly, could be less of a cultural hurdle for them.
That makes sense, but is it just cultural affinity?
No, there's also the economic factor. Think about the rising middle class in many of these Asian countries.
Ah, a huge market opportunity.
Exactly. More and more people wanting to furnish their homes, looking for those affordable yet stylish products.
So they're riding this wave of economic growth.
You could say that, and it all ties back to their mission of enriching homes.
Right, they're not just selling furniture, they're selling a vision.
Yeah, the vision of creating comfortable, stylish, and functional homes, no matter your budget.
Almost like democratizing good design.
I like that, making it accessible to everyone. And they're not just focusing on the products themselves.
Oh, right, the customer experience is important too.
Huge. And Nitori gets that. They're investing a lot in their IT infrastructure
Or four.
to create these seamless omni-channel experiences, you know?
So shopping online and in-store are connected.
Exactly. You can browse on your phone, then go to the store, or vice versa.
That's convenient.
It is. It removes the friction. And within the stores themselves.
Yeah, what are they doing there?
They're putting a lot of thought into creating engaging environments, you know?
Like what kind of environments?
Think lifestyle displays, room setups, that sort of thing.
So you can actually visualize how the products would look in your own home.
Exactly. It's about sparking imagination and creativity. Not just selling you a sofa, but selling you a lifestyle.
It's smart, really. But with all this talk about expansion and growth, can they keep this momentum going?
It's a tough question. The retail landscape is constantly shifting.
And consumer tastes change so quickly.
They do. But I think Nitori has a few things going for them.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, they're incredibly data-driven. They're always analyzing trends, market data.
So they're making informed decisions?
Yeah, not just going with their gut. Second, they're agile and adaptable.
So they can adjust quickly if needed.
Exactly, they're not stuck in their ways. And finally, and this is probably the most important,
Okay.
they have a deep understanding of their target customer.
So they know what their customers want and how to deliver it.
It's a winning combination. But now I'm curious, how will Nitori's success impact the global retail scene?
Yeah. Will they inspire others?
Possibly. They're setting a high bar, showing that rapid growth and responsible practices can coexist.
Is a good example for sure.
Maybe they'll even become the model for a new era of retail?
One that focuses on sustainability, innovation, and putting the customer first.
Exactly. But, I feel like we're only scratching the surface.
There's always more to uncover, right?
Yeah, right. Like their approach to physical stores. They're becoming more than just retail spaces.
What do you mean?
They're hosting workshops, events, cooking classes, even,
Really?
yeah, they're transforming the store into a community hub.
So it's about engaging with customers beyond just selling them something.
Exactly. Building brand loyalty, creating a sense of belonging. It makes people want to spend time there.
It's smart.
Hmm.
But can this community-focused approach work globally?
Another good question. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt it to different cultures.
It's a challenge for sure. Okay, let's move on to something else I found interesting.
Sure, what is it?
Their logistics network. It seems crucial to their success.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Remember that manufacturing logistics IT retail model?
Yeah, the logistics part is key.
For sure. They've invested heavily in building a sophisticated network.
So how does it actually work?
Well, they have these massive distribution centers placed strategically around the world.
To make deliveries more efficient?
Right, and they're constantly optimizing delivery routes and processes. Plus, they have their own logistics management system.
Their own system.
Yeah, it uses data and tech to streamline everything. They can track inventory in real time, optimize warehouse space.
Wow, so everything is connected?
Pretty much. It allows them to ensure smooth and timely deliveries to stores and customers.
That's impressive, but why is it so important?
Well, for any retailer, efficient logistics are crucial, but especially for Nitori, with their focus on affordable prices and fast delivery.
Because you're promising affordable luxury and a seamless experience, you can't have delays.
Exactly. Any hiccups in the supply chain can damage your reputation.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
And their investment in logistics also seems to be paying off in terms of sustainability.
You're right, they're reducing their carbon footprint by optimizing routes and using fuel-efficient vehicles.
So they're efficient, they're keeping customers happy, and they're being environmentally conscious.
It's a win-win-win. But are there any downsides to this hyper-efficient approach?
That's a good question. What do you think?
Well, one potential challenge is flexibility. When your system is so finely tuned, it can be hard to adapt to sudden changes.
Like, say, a global pandemic.
Exactly. Or a major supply chain disruption. Those kinds of events can really test a system.
It shows how important it is to be able to adapt and pivot.
Absolutely. But Nitori seems to be aware of this. They've started diversifying their sourcing and manufacturing.
And spread the risk.
Right, and they're investing in technologies to better anticipate disruptions.
So they're building in safeguards. Well, we've covered their community building, their logistics, their data-driven approach.
A lot of ground covered, for sure.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand what makes Nitori tick. But what does all this mean for someone thinking of investing in them?
Well, the key takeaway is Nitori is a growth story.
They're expanding, they're financially sound, they have a vision.
Exactly. They're also committed to innovation, both in their products and their business model.
And they're trying to make a positive impact on the world.
Right, that's important to a lot of investors these days.
It is. But of course, there are risks, like any investment.
Of course. The growth could falter. The global economy is uncertain.
So a balanced picture, with both potential and risks.
Exactly. But Nitori is definitely a company to watch. That journey towards 3,000 stores.
It's going to be interesting.
It is. I'm eager to see what they do next.
I agree. I'm really curious to see what the future holds for them.
Okay.
But we've only got a little time left. Anything else we should cover?
Well, there's one thing we haven't talked about yet.
Okay, what's that?
Their commitment to research and development. They're constantly innovating.
Yeah. I mean, in retail, you can't just stand still.
Exactly. They're always looking for ways to improve their products, create new ones.
Makes sense. So what kind of R&D are they doing?
They have a whole team dedicated to it, researchers, designers.
Wow, a whole team.
Yep. They're constantly experimenting, new materials, technologies, manufacturing processes.
So they're really serious about it.
Oh, yeah. And they're data-driven, too.
What do you mean?
They use customer feedback, market research, all that to inform their decisions.
So it's not just random. They have a plan.
Exactly. And it's paying off. They've introduced some really cool products lately.
Like what?
Well, they have furniture with smart home tech built in
Oh, that's cool.
and textiles that are sustainable but also really durable.
Impressive.
Right. And get this, they even have their own sleep system.
A sleep system.
Yeah, it combines like advanced materials and ergonomic design for better sleep.
So they're not just furniture anymore.
Nope, they're really pushing the boundaries.
But with all this innovation, can they keep prices affordable?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right? Innovation can be expensive.
It can, but they seem to be finding a balance. They leverage their efficient manufacturing, keep costs down,
Smart.
and they're not afraid to experiment with new materials that are both affordable and high-performing.
It's a tough balance to strike.
It is, but they're doing it well. Now, thinking about all this, how do they approach competition?
Yeah, are they trying to, disrupt the market?
I think it's a mix. They're aware of their competitors. They're not afraid to challenge things, but they also know their own strengths, their niche.
Right, the affordable luxury thing.
Exactly. They offer high-quality, stylish products at good prices.
But there are other companies doing that too.
True. But Nitori has something extra.
What's that?
They emphasize Japanese design and craftsmanship.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're drawing on Japan's heritage of, design excellence to make products that are both beautiful and functional.
So they're tapping into that global interest in Japan,
Exactly. And they're really highlighting their commitment to sustainability.
which is a big selling point these days.
It is. Plus, their customer service is amazing.
Really, they go the extra mile.
They do. It's something that sets them apart.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Their business model, global expansion, sustainability, innovation, competition, even.
Phew. Yeah, it's been a deep dive.
It has. But if there's one thing our listeners should remember about Nitori, what would it be?
I think it's this. Nitori is not afraid to think differently.
They're not following the crowd.
Nope. They challenge conventions, push boundaries, all while staying true to their values.
Sounds like a company with a bright future.
I think so too. They're definitely one to watch.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Nitori Holdings.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.